town isn't big enough for the two of us, Ostrich. What are you talking about, Elephant? I'm gonna take you down. Oh, hey everybody. It's Miss Allie. Welcome to Mini Mo Online. So it's been a few years, like a lot of years, since Adam and Eve. And the earth is filled with all kinds of people. But when God looked out over the earth, it was full of death, disease, and sin. And he was like, oh, no, we cannot have this in my creation. There was not a single person that was God's friend. Well, except one person. And his name was Noah. Now, Noah loved God and talked to God and was God's friend. And God made Noah a promise. He promised his family that they were going to be safe and protected from what God was about to do in the earth. But Noah had a job. Noah had to build a big, giant boat that we call an ark. Now, I've actually been to a replica of this ark. A replica is a fancy word for you make it again, because the Bible in the book of Genesis tells you exactly how to make it. And guys, I've been on this ark and it is so big. It is humongous. I mean, it took forever just to walk from one side to the other. And you know what's kind of crazy about this? Noah lived in the desert. Woo! Very sandy desert where there was no rain. And Noah was telling everybody it was going to rain. Not only was it going to rain, but it was going to flood the whole earth. And he's out here playing in the dry desert sand, building this ark for God. But he didn't care what other people thought of him. He only cared about what God thought of him. So he kept building this ark. And you know how long he built this ark for? Not 10 years, not 20 years, 120 years. Noah built this ark. That is, I can't even imagine how long that is. And one day it was time for the flood. So God started sending animals to Noah. He sent them 2 by 2, a male and a female, because you know, God wanted his creation to be able to live again. So he put some monkeys on there. He put some lions on there. He put some donkeys on there. He put some ostriches. He put all kinds of things on this ark. Camels, giraffes, big giant elephants. And Noah had to get all the food for all these animals. Whew, that was a lot of work for Noah, but he did it because he loved God and wanted to do what God asked him to do. So God made a promise to Noah. He promised Noah that him and his family would not die. So Noah and his wife and his 3 sons, Japheth, Ham, and Shem, all went on this ark with their wives, with Noah. And it started to rain. And it rained for so long. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights and flooded the whole earth. That's a lot of rain. Flooded the whole earth. And Noah the whole time trusted in God. And after a really long time, he sent out a raven and didn't bring anything back. And then he sent out a dove, and the dove brought back an olive branch. And he knew that the rain was going down, the water was going down. And they landed on top of a mountain one day, and Noah gets off the mountain. You know what the first thing he does is? Oh, thank goodness I'm on land. No. He built an altar and he prayed and he thanked God for protecting his family, because God always keeps his promises. And to remind us that God keeps his promises, God said, you know what? I'm never going to flood the earth again. And he put a rainbow in the sky to remind us that he would never flood the earth again. So whenever you see a rainbow, you can remember that God's loved you and that God always keeps his promises. And I tell you what, floods are so messy. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye.